The planet Nebuchim was a world without a solid soul. There were no mountains to climb, no valleys to hide in, only a dense, multi-layered atmosphere of neon-green mists and heavy chemical vapors. This was the home of the Vapori. The Vapori were a biological anomaly, sentient, intelligent gas. They didn't have bodies, they had volumes. They communicated through rhythmic pressure waves and chromatic shifts in their chemical makeup. To the Vapori, the solids of the galaxy were primitive, rigid, and fragile. They viewed skin as a cage and bone as a prison. Their method of warfare was as elegant as it was horrific. They didn't use bullets or blades. They simply were. When an army landed on Nebuchim, the Vapori would drift toward them like a gentle fog. They would find the tiniest microscopic gap in an oxygen seal, the smallest tear in a hazard suit, or the intake of a ventilation system. Once inside, they would expand. They didn't just suffocate their victims. They replaced the air in their lungs with sentient, burning poison. They would watch from the inside as the solids thrashed and died, their bodies becoming nothing more than hollow containers for the Vapori to inhabit. For centuries, Nebuchim was the graveyard of empires. Every invasion force that landed was found months later, thousands of empty suits, thousands of pristine tanks, and not a single living soul left. The Vapori were the unstoppable mist. When the Human Atmospheric Reclamation Division (ARD) arrived to harvest the rare xenon plus gases found in the planet's lower layers, the Vapori high mist Ether Alpha felt a sense of bored curiosity. More containers have arrived. Ether Alpha pulsed through the clouds, a shimmer of arrogant purple light. These ones are blocky and loud. They bring their filters and their pumps. They do not know that the mist is alive. Let them breathe us in. Let them become our new shells. The humans didn't build a fortress. They built a refinery. They didn't send in elite commandos. They sent in the suckers, men and women who had spent their lives cleaning out toxic gas leaks on Jovian mining platforms. Chief Foreman Mike Sullivan was a man who didn't believe in ghosts, spirits, or sentient weather. He only believed in one thing: pressure differentials. All right, listen up. Sully's voice crackled through the comms of his airtight orange hazard suit. The eggheads say the fog out here has an IQ. They say it's gonna try to find a leak in your suits and choke ya. So rule number 1, check your seals. Rule number 2, if the fog starts talking to ya, turn on the intake. The Vapori attacked during the first low-pressure cycle. A massive, swirling wall of emerald mist rolled toward the human refinery. It moved with purpose, tendrils of sentient gas reaching out like fingers, searching for the intakes of the human life support systems. Ether Alpha led the charge, his consciousness slipping into the ventilation shaft of the main human hub. He felt the mechanical fans, the filters, the feeble attempts of the solids to keep him out. I am the wind, Ether Alpha sang through the vibrations of the metal ducting. I am the breath you cannot hold. I am. Suddenly the direction of the air changed. The suction. It wasn't a gentle breeze. It was a violent, high-decibel roar of industrial-grade vacuum pumps. Intake at 60%. Sully yelled, slamming a lever on the control deck. Don't let him drift. I want him bagged and tagged. The Vapori experienced a sensation they had never known: containment. The sentient mist found itself being pulled by a force it couldn't fight. The Vapori were low density. The human vacuum extractors were high negative pressure. It wasn't a fight, it was a physics problem. Ether Alpha tried to expand, tried to fly away, but the massive intake fans, spinning at 20,000 RPM, created a vortex that pulled the sentient gas in like water down a drain. Across the battlefield, the unstoppable mist was being dismantled. Human sucker tanks drove through the fog, their massive nozzles rotating, swallowing entire platoons of Vapori warriors. The gas was compressed, cooled, and forced into thick, high-pressure glass canisters at the back of the machines. Ether Alpha found himself trapped in a 10-gallon tank. He slammed his chemical consciousness against the reinforced glass, flashing desperate shades of red and yellow. Release me, he pulsed, the vibrations barely audible through the thick casing. I am a lord of the atmosphere. I am the soul of this world. You cannot cage the air. Sully walked up to the tank, his heavy rubber boots clunking on the metal floor. He tapped the glass with a wrench. You're about 400 psi of soul right now, pal, Sully said, his face visible through his visor, looking entirely bored. And according to my readout, you've got a high concentration of neon and argon. Do you know what we do with that back on Earth? Sully picked up the canister and slid it into a shipping crate labeled SOL City Lighting District. We use it to make neon signs for strip malls and bars, Sully chuckled. You're gonna be the open sign for a 24-hour diner in New Jersey. Congratulations on the promotion. The Vapori invasion was over in 3 hours. It wasn't a war, it was a harvest. The humans didn't hate the Vapori. They didn't fear them. They just viewed them as free inventory. Every time a new wave of sentient gas tried to attack, the humans simply turned on more vacuums. They set up static traps that ionized the Vapori, making them even easier to suck up. They treated the sentient gods of the mist like a spill on a kitchen floor. The Vapori High Mist was eventually shipped off planet, along with 10,000 of his brothers, all neatly bottled and pressurized. The humans didn't even bother to occupy the planet. They just left the automated sucker drones running, constantly filtering the atmosphere and bottling any sentient signatures that popped up. Humanity had proven the ultimate industrial HFY truth. You can be a creature of pure spirit. You can be an untouchable mist. You can be the very air your enemies breathe. But to a species that invented the vacuum cleaner and the high-pressure gas tank, you aren't a threat, you're just a commodity. We don't need to fight the wind. We just put it in a bottle and sell it to the highest bidder. This has been Apex Sci-Fi. Keep the pressure high. The profits are in the air. If you enjoyed this compressed victory over the gas aliens, hit that like button. Comment below. What's the most insulting thing you can do to a defeated alien race? Subscribe for the next conquest of Saga 12, the static tether. The tanks are full. The lights are on.